It took me 5 years and helping over 170 business owners break every single addiction they have to tell you what I'm about to tell you in the next few minutes. You have the power, you and only you have the power to actually break every single addiction you have. People can guide you, they can kind of help you, but it's within you, it's within your hands. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you how you can actually unlock this power, how you can actually use it to not just break your addictions, but also it will massively help you with achieving any goal you have. For me to do that, I need to explain to you the genesis of addictions, because addictions are good. And you may be surprised by me telling you this, but addictions are good because you're self-medicating on them. And they are good despite their negative consequences in the long term that they have on you. For example, if you smoke, well, most likely you will have lung cancers or throat cancer when you get old. Yes, they have negative consequences, but you're self-medicating on them. So the genesis of any addiction, and when I say addiction, I mean any behavior, anything that you do that is bringing you pleasure or relief in the short term, but it has negative consequences in the long term, and you have the inability to give it up despite the negative consequences in the long term. That's an addiction. Any behavior, I don't care what it is. It can be shopping, it can be food, it can be internet, it can be smoking, drinking, any behavior. The genesis of any addiction is to soothe pain, is to relieve you or to help you escape from pain. I want to do an exercise with you very quickly, because most people, when they hear that, they don't get convinced. If I ask you, while you're doing your addictive behavior, while you're relapsing, what good emotions is it bringing to you? Most likely you're going to say escape or relief. I worked with so many people, like 95% of the time it's escape or relief. Now, if I ask you, okay, what are you relieving yourself from? Or what are you escaping from? Most likely you're going to say stress or boredom or loneliness or fear or anxiety. There's always something bad going on. Okay? So if the good emotion that you're getting from it while you're relapsing is relief, and if the bad emotion that you feel right before the urge is stress, then if I ask you, if you're trying to relieve yourself from stress, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Of course it's a good thing. And you're using your addictive behavior to help you with that process because you don't have self-regulation. And the reason you don't have self-regulation to be able to relieve your own self from stress is because of different things when it comes to neurology and brain circuits, but I'm not going to get into that. And it has to do with the development of the brain when you were a child and the tuning out and the freezing mood, and I'm not going to get into that. What I need to explain to you is that because you don't have self-regulation, because you're unable to soothe yourself from the stress, and because you have so much stress to the level that even if you have self-regulation, it's not going to be enough, your brain is needing to reach for an external source to relieve itself from all that stress or all that mental pain that it's feeling. So the question is, and this is the mantra of one of my mentors, the question is not why the addiction, but why the pain? Why the mental pain? Why are you experiencing so much mental pain? That's the question. And that's the reason I'm saying that addictions are good, because they're helping you self-medicate. That's the genesis of addictions. And this is something that you really need to understand for you to be able to understand the power within you that will help you and make you break those addictions. Now that you understand that stress is the genesis of it, now we need to dig deeper. Because every time you feel the urge, it's basically your brain signaling to you or to your brain circuits such as dopamine, endorphins, etc., that, listen, I'm feeling a lot of stress. Here is a signal, which is the urge, that I want to relieve that stress. So your brain has learned that this behavior that I'm addicted to, if I do it, I'm able to relieve or escape myself from that bad emotion, which is most likely stress. So go ahead and I do it, and that relieve me or help me escape. But the problem is, it's not satiating. So what is deeper than stress, you may ask? Well, the deeper level of stress is what makes you stressed in the first place. Why are you stressed? Why are you stressed so much? And what are the things that happen, or what are the things that you remember that makes you feel this amount of stress? Because it's not anything. There are certain things, and probably you never paid attention to these things, but there are certain things that you would listen to, or you would hear, or you would someone tell it to you, or something happens, or maybe something you remember, or something you imagine. There are certain things that when they happen to you, when you experience them, components of reality, when you experience them, they bring you a lot of stress. So the question is, why are these certain things bringing you a lot of stress? The answer is, and it's psychology as always, there are triggering certain faulty self-image beliefs that you have. Okay, what does that mean? A belief, there are three types of beliefs. What I'm going to talk about is one type, which is the self-image beliefs, which is, I like bananas, I like apples, I hate flying, I like driving cars. These are self-image beliefs. There are beliefs that you have, and they are self-image because they start with the letter I. It's about you. And when certain components of reality, when you receive them, and these specific experiences, they trigger those faulty beliefs of yours, they create stress. For example, let's say that you have the belief of I'm not good enough. And most people do have that, unfortunately. The belief of I'm not good enough. And let's say that you're trying to start a business and you've been working on it for the past month and you haven't made a single penny. And someone asks you, maybe a family member or a friend, how's the business like? How much money are you making right now? Guess what belief that component of reality is going to trigger? People who, like, they're close to you, they're expecting that you made progress, but you haven't made progress, then that's going to confirm, it's going to trigger and confirm the belief, or one of the beliefs that you have. One of them is, I'm not good enough. Another one can be, I'm not deserving, or I'm not smart enough, or I can't succeed, or I can't make money. All these beliefs gets triggered by just someone asking you that question. And when that belief gets triggered, you feel stress. And then your brain sends you a signal of the urge to relieve you from that stress. And your brain has learned that if I do that addictive behavior, I'm going to relieve myself from that stress. So you relapse. That's the genesis of addictions. It's not dopamine. You're not addicted to dopamine. And willpower never works. Just stop advice never works, because the people who tells you that, they have no idea what they're talking about. They don't understand the genesis behind addictions. Okay. Now that you understand all of that, and I hope that you understand it, because now I'm going to provide you with a solution, which is the power within you that will allow you to actually break those addictions. It's within you. No one can actually do it for you. You have to do it yourself. People can guide you. I'm going to guide you right now. But in order for me to be able to guide you, you have to understand everything that I told you so far. So if you haven't understood it, you need to go back and watch it again. You need to write notes if you need to. Now, considering that you understood everything that I told you so far, here's how you can unlock the power within you to be able to actually break your addictions. There are the faulty beliefs that you need to work on. The faulty beliefs that you have are the core things that are the reason for you to relapsing every single time. Because if you go back into what I said, every time a component of reality triggers these faulty beliefs, you feel stress. So you need to relieve yourself from stress or you relapse. So if we remove these faulty beliefs, we can't remove the components of reality. There's always people around you. We can't remove that. We can't remove the amygdala from your brain that senses danger, which gives you stress. We can't remove that from your brain. And we can't remove the addiction by install blockers, because this is the stupidest idea ever. Because you will always find a way for it, or you're going to replace it with something else. So we can't remove any of that. The only thing that we can work on is removing the faulty beliefs that you have. That's the only thing that we can do. And no one can do that except you. You're the only person who can fix the faulty beliefs that you have about yourself, which is one of them: I'm not good enough. You're the only person who can do that. And now I'm going to explain to you how you can do that. Okay? Like, imagine the cycle. Component of reality triggers a belief, you feel stress, your brain sends you a signal of the urge to relieve yourself from stress, so you relapse. You feel good a little bit, but then like a day later, maybe 2 hours later, another component of reality comes in, it triggers the same belief, and it's the loop. And this loop, the more it goes, the stronger it becomes, the more automatic it becomes. So now the question is, it's not why the addiction, it's not why the mental pain, it's why the faulty beliefs and how to fix them. So beliefs, they're like a scale. Okay, so a belief is either positive or negative. So for example, I am not good enough belief, it might be positive. So you actually believe that you're not good enough, or negative. You actually believe that you are good enough. And it's not binary. It's not this or this. It's how much. It's how much false or how much true is it. Okay, got it? Now, you have plenty of faulty beliefs about yourself that brings you a lot of stress or brings you whatever bad emotion that you feel right before the urge. You have plenty of those. The first step is for you to become aware of them. So every time you feel stress, ask yourself, the thing that made me feel stress, what does it mean about me? I've been working in my business for the past month. I haven't made a single penny, and someone asked me how much money I'm making right now, and that made me feel stressed. What faulty beliefs did it trigger? What that situation meant about me? I'm not good enough, I'm not deserving, I can't succeed, there's something wrong with me, blah, 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 blah. Write them down. And start remembering, like every time you feel stressed, what did it mean about you? That's the first step. You need to become conscious of that, because we can't fight an enemy that we can't see. You have to see them first. You have to become conscious of them first. So you got to write them down. 5, 10, 20, as much as you have. The way you can do it is that write down the experiences that made you feel the urge or made you feel stressed. Write them down, and for every single one of them, write down what did it mean about me. Okay? Cool. Now that you have that list, now you can see the enemy. The enemy is inside you. It's not something external. It's not the government. It's not the internet. It's inside you. The enemy is inside of you. That's the reason I say that you are the only person who can help yourself, because the enemy is inside of you. So now you're looking at the enemy, the things that make you stressed, and the faulty beliefs that you have about yourself. Now we need to correct those. We can't destroy them. We can't remove them. They're there. We just need to tip the scale on the other end. So if you have the belief of I'm not good enough, and it's true, we need to make it false. And this takes time. It's like you have the scale, and each scale at either end, it has a lot of rocks on it. And for example, the I'm not good enough, or I'm not deserving, or whatever belief that you have, the true for it, the rocks on this scale is much more than the rocks on the negative scale. So I'm not good enough, it's true. That's why it's triggering beliefs. It's triggering stress when it gets triggered. So we need to start removing rocks from here and adding rocks here so the scale can tip on the other way. Okay? Another belief that you have is, I can succeed in business. For example, let's say that this is a belief that you have. I can succeed in business. But this belief is very weak right now. So again, this is the true, this scale is the true, and this scale is the false. So it's a little bit in the true because you kind of believe it, but it's like this. It's not like this, or it's not false. It's true, but a little bit. We just need to put more rocks on the positive scale. That's the only thing we need to do. Okay. So the final thing now is, how do we put rocks on the positive scale? How do we tip the scales on the other end so that when another component of reality tries to trigger these beliefs, we don't feel stressed because it's not tipped like this, it's tipped the other way. That's the secret. That's the way to do it. And it takes time. The more it's tipped, the longer it's going to take to tip it back. So how do we add the rocks? How do we remove the rocks from the negative end and put them in the positive end? You need to become, first of all, conscious of these beliefs, and now you need to see them in action. So every time you do something that proves to you that you are good enough, say it. Say it in your mind. Talk to yourself as you would talk to your child. If your child gets an 80 out of 100 in an exam, and what you would tell him is that, like, good job, you've done a great job. What you would tell yourself is that you're stupid, you should have got 100 out of 100. Should have got a full mark. The exam was easy, you should have got a higher mark. You're being stupid. That's what you would tell yourself. But you would not say that to your child. So you have to start talking to yourself with compassion, as if you're talking to your child. And that way, when you do anything, instead of you saying bad things about yourself, you need to start saying good things to yourself. That's how you tip the scale. If you start working on the business and you've been working on it for a month and you haven't made a single penny, say that you're not, don't say that you're not making progress. Say that you are making the progress and the money is just a byproduct. We just need more time of progress and the money will come. It's just a shift of perspective. That's the reason finding mentors who've done what you've done who've done what you want to do is extremely important and extreme therapeutic, because it helps you align your perspectives to a more objective way. If you've done 5 sales calls and you haven't closed a single client, that doesn't mean you're not good enough. It doesn't mean that you're stupid at sales. It means that you haven't done enough sales calls. That's it. Just this shift of perspectives allows those component of reality to not trigger these faulty beliefs of yours. And it helps with start tipping these faulty beliefs on the other end. And you need to keep doing that. That's the reason, like, no one can do that for you. You need to do that consciously every single day. It's a lifelong process. Every single day you need to do it. Every single thing. If you have low self-esteem and you have enormous amount of faulty beliefs, like I'm not good enough, I'm not deserving, you have plenty of them. Then if you go out, you drive a car, you go from zone A to zone B without crashing the car, then say that you made that and you haven't crashed the car, you are good enough. There are people that have so much low self-esteem that they need to do that. You may not need to do that. It depends on the level of faulty beliefs that you have and how much they're tipped on the other end. But that's what you need to do. That's the work. That's what needs to be done. So that at the end of the road, when finally these faulty beliefs, they become like this, and then they start tipping on the other end, on the positive end, the same components of reality that used to trigger these faulty beliefs, that made you stressed, that made you want to relieve from stress, so you relapse, now they're not going to trigger these faulty beliefs anymore. That's it. That's the solution. It took me 5 years and helping over 170 people to make it as simple as possible to explain to you in these few minutes that I did. That's the solution. So glad. I'm so proud of myself. See what I'm doing right now? I'm tipping those scales more. I'm so proud of myself that I was able to reach that level of clarity in helping people break their addiction, which is my vision and my mission. And it's truly my passion. So I'm very proud of myself. And I'm very happy with myself that I was able to do that. And I will continue to do that to keep improving my process. And if you want more content like this, I hope that you subscribe so that you can see more stuff like this to help better your life. And you can share that information. You can tell people about what you learned today. You can share this video with people that you think that can use this information from this video. So I hope you like this video. Hope you find some value from it. If you want deeper dive into this, then check the free community in the link in the description, school.com/utopia, because this is the vision that I have, a utopia. And it's not an outer utopia, it's an inner utopia, because you have your inner world. It lives in here. And once you achieve inner utopia, this is when you actually succeed. It's not the money, it's not the fame, it's not the watches or the cars or the women. It's the inner utopia. That's the success that everyone needs to aim to achieve. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.